is set to return finally after he's been dealing with a bad, back all season. Tonight will be the first time Steph, Clay, and Dre will play together since Game 6 of the 2019 NBA Finals. Here is what Draymond had to say today after shoot-around.
To take the floor again with those guys, especially after, all the nonsense of, this dynasty is over and, all that came with it. I'm extremely excited. To be 100% honest with you, at the time that he said the 12, man, I can still barely push off and hold my balance. But it gave me that end date, it gave me something to say, okay, I need to be ready by this day.
Joined now by Kendra Andrews, who's at the Chase Center for Draymond's return. Kendra, welcome. How healthy is Draymond Green's back, and how much should we expect from him in his return tonight?
Well, Max, Draymond says that his back is feeling good, and he expects to be under a 20 to 23-minute restriction for the next week or two. And usually, Draymond says he doesn't like minute restrictions, but he's welcoming of this one, saying sometimes you need someone to protect yourself. Draymond also said that he plans on using the next 2 to 3 weeks to get his legs back underneath him, his quick reaction time back, with the hopes that by the time there's a week to a week and a half left of the regular season, he's back to where he was before his injury as the Warriors head into the playoffs.
Kendra, why does it make sense to bring him back now and not, say, a week ago?
Yeah, well, I asked Steve Kerr something similar to that last night, and he said it would have been really challenging to bring Draymond back when they were in what Steve called a tailspin. They dropped 5 games in a row for the first time this season. Now, the team feels that having him back is going to help address a lot of the issues they've been suffering from over the past 2 months, but he's not going to fix everything. Steve said he can't make all of the guys make the right play over and over and over again. He can yell at them, and Draymond is very good at that, but everyone else has to minimize their own mistakes on both ends of the floor, and we've seen them do that over the past 3 games, especially that dominant win over the Bucks. So now the Warriors feel that with some momentum on their side, it's going to be easier to bring him back into the fold.
He's the point forward. He's Mr. Do Everything on defense. He allows him to play the death lineup, 5 out as the small center. He's Curry's pick and roll partner. He helped along with Curry to bring basketball into the postmodern era. If I'm in a tailspin, I want him back on the team, but Steve Kerr knows better than me. Thank you, Kendra. Appreciate it. The legal tampering period for NFL free agency is officially open. So we have Graz and Mike T here to tell us which teams need some notable free agents. Let's start with Jarvis Landry, who was released by the Browns earlier this afternoon. Which team most needs to sign Landry, Graz?
Well, you can make a case for a lot of teams on Landry. Though I'm going to say Buffalo. It's a contending team. He's going to look for a contender. They have a little bit of a sneaky need at wide receiver. A lot of chatter that they might cut Cole Beasley, so moving parts there. But I think that's a spot. That's the kind of spot I think Jarvis Landry is going to be looking for. I'm sure Mike T has another good one.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah,
that
works.
That plug and play there, because Antonio Brown left last year. They really didn't replace him. Now you could put Chris Godwin and Mike Evans both outside, and he makes everybody better. He has toughness. They like to run the ball as well. So to me, Jarvis Landry, go down there on a 1-year deal, resurrect your career, much the way OBJ got away from Cleveland, and he was doing great with the Rams until he got hurt. And then next year, go crush it in free agency.
Yeah, the Bucs was the correct answer. It says so right here. The Bucs. I'm sorry, you could have taken anyone, but you decided not to take the Bucs for some reason. I don't.
Patriots, Packers. I mean, there's all kinds of places he'd fit.
Next up is Landry's former teammate, Odell Beckham. Which team needs most to sign Odell, Graz?
I say the Rams. This was perfect, right? It fits so well. They had so much fun and so much success together. Look, he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl. We don't know how much of this coming season he's going to be able to play. So if you're the Rams, why not do something that's like a 2-year deal with a low number this year and a higher number next year, incentives if he's healthy and all that stuff? It was a marriage that made too much sense.
Brian Gutekunst, the GM of the Packers, did a great job last year, signing players like Devondre Campbell and Rasul Douglas opportunistically. This fits perfectly, guys. Go sign him in Green Bay, get him healthy. Maybe it's for the back half of the year, and now all of a sudden you give Aaron Rodgers another explosive element along with Devontae Adams. So to me, low risk, high reward.
He did like that idea when after the Browns cut him. Green Bay was on his list.
Yeah, I mean, but the Rams, he seems so happy there. He has a place there. LA suits him. Guys, didn't you have the sense that he was going to be the MVP of the Super Bowl? Didn't it feel that way early on?
Looked like he was going to have 200 yards.
Right?
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, stay where you're happy. In a weird way, I don't want to count anyone's money, but maybe it works out because he becomes more affordable for them to keep him, and he gets to live happily ever after. Maybe. Finally, we have Jameis Winston. Which team most needs to sign Jameis, Graz?
I'm going to go with the Colts. They still need a quarterback, having traded away Carson Wentz, and the pool is getting a little bit thin. I think Jameis offers some upside. I think Frank Reich could do some fun stuff with him. I'm going to say Indianapolis for Jameis Winston.
Let's not overthink this one, guys. New Orleans Saints. You know, things were encouraging last year. Got a new head coach, Dennis Allen. Let him get to know him up close and personal. If he cuts down on the turnovers, this is still a championship defense. So I think this is a good fit from both sides. If I'm Jameis Winston at this point in my career, continuity, even though it's a new head coach, will serve him well. And again, with this defense, they would have a real shot to make the playoffs if he plays well.
I mean, that's actually the answer. You did the thing I did with Odell and the Rams, and that's right, but I'll get cute and say the Texans, because they're going to get such a haul for Deshaun Watson. If you wind up, you need to replace him at quarterback. Well, Jameis, to me, is kind of like a Trubisky guy. Like, hey, he might turn out to be pretty good still. And he's your quarterback. You don't really have to give up anything for him but the money. And you can put 1 million first-round picks around him. Yeah. Maybe a place like the Tech, kind of a blank slate type place.
Their biggest issue, their interior, and protecting Tom Brady has got to be a priority if they want to have success. So, you know, I'm expecting the Bucs to be players here and trying to bring in someone.
Diana, thank you so much. Guys, sit tight, because for the moment, we're going to the NBA. Kevin Durant gave the Knicks 53 yesterday, but everyone was talking about what he had to say after the game. Here's KD when asked about Kyrie being able to sit on the bench but not play in home games.
It's ridiculous. Like, I don't understand it at all. I mean, it's a few people in our arena that's unvaxxed, right? Like, they lifted all of that in our arena, right? So I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. It just feels like at this point now, somebody's trying to make a statement or a point to flex their authority. But, you know, everybody out here looking for attention, and that's what I feel like the mayor wants right now, some attention, you know. But he'll figure it out soon. He better.
It's not hard to imagine that a politician wants attention. And by saying that out loud, and by pointing out the apparent inconsistency in the policy, Kyrie is sitting right there without a mask after all. Why can't he play? KD seems to be trying to exert pressure on Mayor Eric Adams to change New York's mandate policy for workers. Thing is, mandates work. We seem to be coming out of the pandemic largely because 3/4 of all eligible Americans have had at least one shot. For New Yorkers, it's nearly 9 out of 10. A lot of people say they won't get it, they don't want to get it, but there's a high cost associated with not getting it. They get it. Want to work in New York? Get vaccinated. Know why you don't get the measles anymore? Vaccines, until anti-vaxxers campaigned on pseudoscience and vaccination rates went down. And in some places, the measles came. Michigan is the most popular double-digit seed in the opening round. 42% of brackets have the Wolverines beating 6th-seeded Colorado State. Worth noting, Michigan is a 2.5-point favorite, according to Caesars. Finally, the Duke Blue Devils are the 4th most popular pick to cut down the nets. That's not according to Jay Will. Coach K is taking a national title into retirement in 6% of total brackets. I'd like to welcome in now Sean Farnham. Sean, we go back to the ESPN 710 radio days. Former UCLA Bruin and college hoops analyst as part of the Tournament Challenge Marathon taking place all week here on the ESPN networks. Sean, millions of fans, including myself, are all looking to fill out the best bracket. Let's start in the first round. Upsets you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Vegas's odds, by the way, more lower-seeded teams are favored than we've seen in the past as far as double digits go in this NCAA tournament. So I'm gonna go past all of those and go to one that nobody's really talking about right now, and that's South Dakota State taking on Providence. Providence has played in a ton of really close games all season long. But this South Dakota State, you have to have something special that can separate you. You like shooters, Max? These guys knock it down at 45% clip. Might be the best three-point shooting team in the history of college basketball. They're all